Good evening and welcome. Tonight we will be going over the history and geography of the Centre region of Burkina Faso, which pretty much just includes the capital city of Ouagadougou. You can hear little Bonnie in the background. I've been waiting for about 45 minutes for her to calm down so I can film, and she's actually a lot calmer than she was, which means she's at like 60% chaos. Imagine not. Okay, she's just special like that. That's my girl. Ouagadougou. Ouagadougou, as you can see, is the capital of Burkina Faso. It's located almost right in the middle of the country and apparently right in the middle of my book. You can see the crease here. My big atlas. She's so crazy. Okay, we're just gonna let it go. Enjoy the nice sounds of Bonnie being crazy. You can see the Sahel region here. The Sahel is the halfway point between the Sahara Desert, which I feel like everyone knows in geography, the Sahara, and the more greener, forested to more tropical rainforest area of Central Africa. So it's really just the belt between northern and central Africa, where it's not quite desert, it's not quite forest, it's something in between. Ouagadougou is somewhat plagued by the Harmattan winds, which are winds that come from the Sahara, bringing in all of the dust and sand from it. Bonnie, my goodness. Okay. And, fill the city with all of that dust and sand. It must be unfortunate. But since this is just basically a city region, we'll talk more about the lay of the land on Google Earth. So that, hold on. Bonnie, could you come here? Stop. Tell them you're sorry. Tell them you're sorry. Stop being a crazy girl. She can't help it. She's just a crazy girl. My goodness. Anyway. We'll talk more about the lay of the land when we're on Google Earth, and I'll show you the sites around the city. So let's talk about the history of Ouagadougou. The origins of the city probably began around the 11th century CE. Bonnie, imagine not being a menace. Come here. You're off the desk now. You've lost privileges. Say goodbye. Say goodbye. Come on. Get down. No more desk. My goodness. There you go. Okay. Go bother your brother. Probably around the 11th century. But we know for sure that it was founded definitely within the 12th century CE, as it was the capital of the Mosi Kingdom. See right there, Mossi, the Mosi. The main indigenous group, not just in Ouagadougou, but the whole of Burkina Faso. Now what is she doing? My goodness, Bonnie Blue. She's found a wire to play with. Oh my goodness. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Like I said, she's a lot calmer than she was, so just imagine how chaotic this would have been 45 minutes ago. Please stop. You are the most annoying little, but I love you. Okay. Ouagadougou. The king of the Mosi Kingdom is known as the Moronaba. And they have a really fascinating ceremony that they do every Friday that they've been doing for centuries. Where basically that is the conference day from all of the leaders around the area. They come to the Moronaba's palace And the Moronaba comes out dressed all in red and in war regalia. And they all have to go, no, no, not today. Go back inside. Don't do it today. And then he goes back inside and comes out all in white, meaning that it is peacetime. And then that's when they have their meeting, their weekly meeting about the affairs of the kingdom. And they do that every Friday, still to this day. Isn't that something? Now she's scratching on a scratcher. So we're just, you know what, that's actually a cat thing that she can do. So we're going to let her do that. The Mosi Kingdom did a pretty good job defending itself against the Mali Empire. You can see Mali up here. It was technically part of the Mali Empire for a while, but once the kingdom was firmly established, they kept the actual empire away. And also the successor to the Mali Empire, the Songhai Empire. They managed to retain their independence all the way until 1896, which was when Ouagadougou was captured by the French and turned into an imperialist colony, part of French West Africa. It became its own colony in 1958, known as Upper Volta. The Volta being the river system that flows down into Ghana. Lake Volta is just down there, but it's a man-made lake, so not named after the lake. It's named after the rivers, the Black Volta and the White Volta. This was Upper Volta. Upper Volta, though, would gain its independence in 1960. It was not the most stable government here, led in Ouagadougou. There were many coups, and in the early 1980s, a man overthrew the government and took control, named Thomas Sankara. And he completely changed the country. He renamed it to Burkina Faso, the land of the upstanding people. He implemented a lot of changes for public health, public safety, so on and so forth. But he was like socialist, communist, so the West wasn't in favor of him. So he was assassinated in another coup and replaced. But he is considered a hero here today, and we'll see a big memorial to him here in Ouagadougou, so I bring him up. In more recent history, Burkina Faso has remained quite unstable. Groups have formed in the outskirts of the country that I can't say what they're called, but they practice an extremist version of Islam, and they are people who blow things up on purpose, right? You know what I mean. There have been some attacks in Ouagadougou. The most heinous was in 2016 when they seized a restaurant hotel, and many lost their lives during that. The uncertainty, the unstableness in the country from these groups led to another coup in 2022 by a young man named Ibrahim Traoré. He became the world's youngest head of state at age 34 and has once again led Burkina Faso into a more socialist mindset, a very pro-African, pan-African, anti-West mindset. And he seems to be, from what I've seen, very beloved here in Ouagadougou. From what I understand, the areas around Burkina Faso are not the safest places. But the safest place in Burkina Faso right now is Ouagadougou because Traoré has cracked down so hard with his police force and all of that to keep people here safe. And people are thankful to him. To me, this is a personal opinion, by the way. He seems like a very upstanding young man. He seems to have his mind in the right place. You know, Burkina Faso forward. He's one of the most popular leaders in Africa today. But he's, say this. He made being gay illegal in Burkina Faso, so that is a hard no for me. But I can appreciate how much he has uplifted the people here and empowered them in that sense. You know what I mean? He is trying to improve the country, but he is of that, I don't know, militant leader African mindset that everything needs to be this way. I suppose. I'm not for or against, but I'm not Burkinabe. I don't have a horse in this race. But I don't have a very good opinion of people who make being LGBT illegal, since that's me. So I'm not about that. And many of my friends too, and people I love. Not just me. So not very excited about that. But that is essentially where we are today here in Ouagadougou. It sounds like Bonnie has gone out to her catio outside. So I think she's finally calmed down. I'm so sorry if she distracted you guys at the start of this video. Just let me know and I'll crack down harder on the cats. Nobody's complained about the cats being cats, but if it's like, okay, that was way too much, let me know and I'll crack down harder on little cats being in the videos. They just want to be around me, that's all. Especially Bon, she's so clingy in these like early hours of the morning. She's usually asleep at my feet when I film. But anyway, let me hit the lights and grab the tablet, and we are going to explore the best named capital city in the world, Ouagadougou. Let's go. Here we are in the Centre region of Burkina Faso. Of course, they speak French here, so it's not Centre, it's Centre. That's another thing Traoré did, is that he kicked out all of the French from Burkina Faso, and it doesn't allow French troops in the country, so on and so forth. The French are out of Burkina Faso. But this is Burkina Faso right here. You can see the Sahel that I'm talking about, cutting right through here. There's the desert, there's the forest, and here's the Sahel right here. Let's see, how can you find Burkina Faso? I guess you just look for good old West Africa here. You can't miss it. And it's just north of the Gulf of Guinea coast here. Burkina Faso. Bonnie's back. What a menace. So you can see that there is actually a bit of space in the Centre region around Ouagadougou. But there's no pictures there, not even in this forest. So unfortunately, we're just going to stick to Ouagadougou. I guess fortunately, unfortunately, because Ouagadougou is a pretty neat place. Popping right up is the Thomas Sankara Memorial over here. There he is. Memorial Thomas Sankara. Looks like there's a little museum to him as well. Old Jeep. And quotes from him. Yeah, he is... Oh, that's the main cathedral here in the city. I don't think we'll go look at it, though. Maybe if we have a little extra time. But, gosh, look at this. Little metal, I guess, depiction of something. I hope it's not his death, because he was kind of ganged up on. He's been nicknamed the Che Guevara of Burkina Faso. If you want an idea of his political philosophies there. Yeah, this is the Thomas Sankara Airport. And yeah, he is a very beloved figure in Burkina Faso. It's called Burkina Faso because of him. Alright, what else shall we look around? That's the Prime Minister's office. Prime Minister of Burkina Faso. There's lots of these very cool buildings. Very like 60s and 70s chic buildings here. That's what was popular at the time when this became a more booming city, right? here's the Grand Market, always the beating heart of every major African city center. Of course, you can buy pretty much everything here. Of course, fresh fruits and veggies, wonderful textiles, apparently smart TVs. Looks like some cleaning products over there, energy drinks, a restaurant there. Can't see what they're serving though because it's taken too far away. There's this really neat art up at the front. Get some knockoff luggage, some hot sauce, some spices maybe. Of course, clothes, more cleaning products. You can get everything here. There's the Global Beauty Enterprise. Imagine all of the goodies you'll find there. You can get pretty much everything there. Here's the Monaba Palace. And that looks like him right there. There he is all in white for the ceremony. See, they're all lined up in their finest, and he comes out in white, meaning that it is peacetime. It's his palace there, or something or other. Looks like they're having their big meeting there. He's all in white. So yeah, that kingdom is still going. Of course, it doesn't have any like actual power. Not anymore. Not after the French came. Nice selfies there. But it's still around. Oh, what a nice smile. That's a great photo. So power box. Another wonderful face. And another wonderful face. The kingdom is still around. Still, I guess, functioning, but has no real power. Not political power, at least, but cultural power, definitely. Over here, you can see this kind of green area. Here is the, I guess, Bongerwogo Park, which used to be a sacred forest for the Mosi people. I guess it still is technically, but when the French took over, they translated sacred, ritual ancestral forest as park. So they've got animals, they had basketball like you saw. There's some alligators, or probably crocodiles actually, were in Africa. Crocs, some monkeys, some tortoise, all kinds of animals, some cranes, some termites, goodness, be careful over there, some pelicans and peacocks, and look at these beautiful, I wonder if it looks like little bugs did that, probably termites. Very interesting. So yeah, it's now just a park today, but just know that this was a very sacred space originally for the people here. And then once we pass the lake, we can find the Greenbelt area, which is up here actually. The Greenbelt is an initiative that's happening across the Sahel, mostly over on that end of the Sahel in more eastern Africa, but stretching across the Sahel. And it is to prevent desertification. The Sahara is growing. It's done nothing but grow since its inception. And the only way to combat desertification is to create some green. Look at all those donkeys, my goodness. So this isn't I don't think that's in Ouagadougou. This area is set aside to plant some greenery, to plant some trees. Looks like there's recycling happening here. There's the sites around the lake area there to help stop the spread of the desert. I can also show you, oh, you know what I have to show you down here. So you can tell the French kind of like annihilated the city. Same with the city we're going to tomorrow. And they rebuilt it all in a grid pattern, making it very French, So that's kind of the original part, and the city is expanding. It is, of course, the largest, most populous city in Burkina Faso, so it's starting to expand more south, and they've been developing this area here. This is the Monument of National Heroes. You can see it's a huge monument here. It's Thomas Sankara, you already saw. It has the names of people who looks like they lost their lives during the insurrection. 2018, I think. And yeah, anyone who perished, unfortunately, is memorialized here, so to say. Mostly people who lost their lives, from what I understand, during various coups and uprisings. Big space. I imagine that they're going to develop all of the space around it so it's not just dirt. But I wonder what they will do with it, because it looks like, I don't know, it looks like there's space, and it looks like they're building a little promenade, or they've built a little promenade. But it definitely needs some more landscaping, if that, because it's so empty. But it's still very significant in its emptiness. We follow down this main road until we get to the presidential palace, where Ibrahim Traoré lives. Now, obviously, there's not going to be any pictures inside because it's a private residence. But we can see the outside is very grand. It looks like a hotel. Let's see. We've got, I think this is the main house here. And then back here is a church. Some kind of outdoor area here. A lot happening here. It looks like this is also a project in development. But, yeah. Esplanade. Oh, looks like a little place to learn about history. She's very proud of that individual. Yeah, that is the ever expanding, as you can see down here, like, stuff is happening, right? It's probably all built out now because a couple of places that I've looked at on Google Earth, people have said, well, there's one in Finland, they said, it's much more developed now. That's a very old photo. And then I looked at my town in Idaho, and it's also a photo from like 4 years ago. I think it's time for Google Earth to update, So this could all be built out by now. We shall see. Like, it looks like stuff's happening down here, building some fancy homes. There is definitely a rich and poor areas of Burkina Faso. But that is essentially it. You can see all of the big main roads. And I'm trying to think if there's anything else that I have to show you. I think I showed you all the highlights. So let me just, you can hear my cat playing with stuff. Ouagadougou. Let's just look at the main slideshow here while I end the video. So thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this style of content, please consider subscribing. This is the Grand Mosque, by the way. I should have showed you that. There we go. I want to make sure that the pictures I'm showing you are Ouagadougou. Don't think some of those were. Yeah, if you enjoyed this style of content, please consider subscribing, especially since we're going to another African capital city tomorrow. And what's funny is that we're going from the world's youngest leader to the world's oldest. So if you know where we're going, drop it in the comments. I don't think some of those are renderings. There's a little gas station. Drop it in the comments if you know where we're going next. Please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and let me know all your thoughts down below in the comments. I hope that you found this video to be relaxing and educational, and I hope that you have a good night.